Halloween's right around the corner, and you know what that means. Bethesda has decided to bless all of us with a brand new Halloween-themed mini-season in Fallout 76. This one's called Night at the Morgue, and it's running from October 21st till November 4th, so you've only got 2 weeks to knock out all of the challenges and grab the very spooky rewards. And as always, a big shout out to NukaKnight for data mining all of this information and breaking it all down. Before we get into the rewards and challenges, let's quickly go over how to access this limited time mini-season, especially if you're new to Fallout 76. Now, when you log in on October 21st, head straight to the season page and then select the Night at the Morgue mini-season. This is where you will select like the normal season if you wanted to go and cash in any of your normal season tickets. When you log on October 21st and go there, you're going to notice that there's two options. Just select the Night at the Morgue, as you can see on screen. Now, the first thing you'll want to do is claim the Morgue candy bowl. You could also use just a plain candy bowl that you got from the last previous years and everything like that, but again, if this is your first time doing a mini-season or a Halloween event in Fallout 76, you're going to need to do this because you don't have a candy bowl. So collect the Morgue candy bowl for free. It's the first thing on the list of all of the items that you could grab from the scoreboard, and you'll need to place it at your camp and hand out candy. I'll explain more on that in 1 second because it is a daily reoccurring challenge that you'll have to knock out. Now, also, the second thing that you'll have to do before starting any of these challenges, you'll need to wear any costume. And you'll need to wear any costume while completing all of these challenges, and if you wear it inside of power armor, that counts, so you don't need to get out of power armor, kill a bunch of enemies, and then go back in order for it to count or anything like that. You could just wear your costume inside of power armor, but you do need to be wearing a costume. Doesn't matter if it's like a pumpkin costume from in-game, or if you get something from the Atomic Shop, as long as you're wearing a costume during this event, it will count towards any of the progress. Now, this season page is also where you'll see all of the event rewards, and just like the past mini-seasons, unfortunately, you'll have to unlock them all in order. So it will start with the free Morgue candy bowl, so if you're eyeing something on the last page, you'll have to grab everything before that, which again, definitely sucks. Now, in terms of the challenges, in viewing the challenges, all of your event challenges can be found under the challenge tab right below your normal daily and weekly sections. Each challenge gives season tickets, which you could use for Halloween rewards, or you could save them for the main season board. Now, if you do want to just purchase all of these events and then all of these rewards during the event and then come back later when you have and just replenish your season tickets later on, you can 100% do that. You could buy all of these rewards day one and place them at your camp and then just pay yourself back by completing all of the challenges in the upcoming 2 weeks, or you could just stash all of these tickets and then buy them at the end like everyone else will. Speaking of candy, just a quick tip, you could get candy in kind of a few different ways. You could get candy from Spooky Scorched, which spawn all across Appalachia during this event, and I will talk about that more later on because you will have to kill them for a few challenges, or by grabbing it from other players' candy bowls at their camps, which you'll need to do both of these for different challenges, so either way, you're going to be getting candy. Don't you worry about it. Obviously, just make sure that the camp on the map has the little pumpkin icon. This means that the player has placed down a candy bowl and does have candy. So, in order to get candy, you kill Spooky Scorched, which will spawn randomly at a bunch of different locations across the map, and I will post it later in the video. I promise I'll go over that, and then also from other players' candy bowls that they place at their camp. Like I said, there are a few daily challenges that you will have to complete a handful of times in order to complete the last challenge of this limited time mini-season. Now, as you can see on screen, you have to build a candy bowl and give out candy from your camp. One, obviously super simple, and then trick or treat from other players' camps or from other players' candy bowls 3 times. Now, you will get this every single day, but giving out candy, super simple. Just place your bowl, fill it with candy from the Scorch or other players' camps. Go about your day. You can AFK or just play as normal. People doing their own challenge will swing by and grab from your camp, especially if your camp is in a somewhat popular area. Just make sure you leave the candy bowl like in the middle of your camp or directly outside, like your actual house or anything like that, so people could grab it really fast. For the trick or treat challenge, just fast travel to camps with a pumpkin icon, grab some candy, easy. You're done. Do that 3 times. Boom, you're complete. Moving into the bi-weekly challenges, like I said, this event spans 2 weeks, so there will be 2 weeks of challenges. You'll have to complete all week 1 challenges during week 1 and all week 2 challenges during week 2. Obviously, we'll start with week 1 and then we'll move on to week 2 and then the final, quote, big challenge. So as you can see on screen, the first challenge is collect a human skull or skull part while wearing a costume. 20. So that's not going to be too difficult. Again, I'll show off a couple locations. Craft a melee weapon while wearing a costume. 15. Again, not too difficult. Cripple, and all of these, obviously, you're going to have to be wearing a costume, but I'll still say it regardless. Cripple a human limb while wearing a costume. 30. Super simple. Kill a Spooky Scorched while wearing a costume. 25. Again, we'll get more into that in a second. Collect a scalpel or surgical scalpel while wearing a costume. 5. Again, that one's pretty easy. We'll go into that in a second. And then finally, the last 2 challenges. Complete a give out candy challenge. 5. And complete a trick or treat challenge. 5. So let's start off with the first challenge, and I'll kind of break it down a little bit. Collecting skulls. Now, there are a few locations where you could actually get skulls and skull fragments from. However, the easiest location that spawns just a bunch of skulls at once that you could go onto your private server, wait until it refreshes, go back onto your private server, and just constantly do that. Now, there is a location to the right of Vault 76, as you should see on screen now, that contains a hot tub. This hot tub has 5 human skulls in it, weirdly enough. Now, like I said, this will refresh every single day when like the server refreshes 24 hours after you pick it up, or you could force your server to just completely refresh after you grab it in your private world and everything like that. Or you could just jump onto multiple characters, go to the same exact spot because it is right next to Vault 76. You could even go in as a brand new level 1 character. However, if you don't want to do that, you could do yourself a favor and you could get skulls or skull fragments from super mutants and their meat bags. Now, super mutants have a chance to drop them as loot in their inventory when they die, and then also on the meat bags that they hang around. That and the scalpel challenge are probably the 2 trickiest ones, so we're going to go through the rest of them kind of fast. Melee weapons. Just craft a board 15 times, boom, you're done. Human limbs, just shoot humans in the arms or legs. If you have a pepper shaker or a shotgun, you'll clip or your cripple limbs extra fast. You could also use a auto axe or something like a Tesla rifle or anything like that will shoot a bunch of different projectiles. It's really easy to cripple limbs with weapons like that. And then obviously for human enemies, you're just going to want to go to like the Blood Eagles or a bunch of different cultist hotspots or something like that. Up next, this is probably the most annoying challenge. Like I said, the Spooky Scorched. Now, getting the Spooky Scorched to spawn is just pure RNG. However, thankfully, there are a bunch of locations that they can spawn at. It's pretty much just any location, as you should see on screen or should have seen on screen. It's just any location that Scourge can spawn at. They have a small chance of taking over a Scourge and spawning in as one instead. Again, shout out to NukaKnight for getting all of this information. But again, any location that has Scourge, you should be able to find a Spooky Scorched, at least 1 per run. You may get lucky and get a couple of them. Again, this will be in the description under the NukaKnight link if you want to just peek at it for yourself during this whole entire event to hunt down the Spooky Scorched. But if not, I always just go to like Tyler County or something like that, or the water park. There are a bunch of different places that you can go to that will just have Scourge and you could just constantly refresh. Up next, the Collect a Scalpel. This is, again, another annoying challenge. However, there are a few stress-free locations. As you can see on screen, firstly is the White Spring Refuge. There are 3 or 4 that should spawn in the medical area. You could just jump from character to character because it's White Spring. If you have 2 characters, you should have both of them should have this area unlocked. You come across it pretty early on in the game. So there should be 4 in here. Just jump on 2 different characters, or again, force your private world to reset. If not, you could go straight to Foundation inside of the Builder's Hall, and there should be another 3 inside of that room. However, I suggest you just make White Spring refresh after you grab the first 3 or 4 that are in there. Up next is just the 2 stupid give out candy and trick or treat. you just give out candy to one player for 5 days and complete the trick-or-treat challenge for 5 days also. So you're just going to have to grab 15 pieces of candy across 5 days from 3 players a day. Not really that difficult. Now, moving into week 2, thankfully it has a lot less of like hunting down specific items and more just kill enemies. It's just a much more straightforward week that shouldn't require any server hopping. But so the first one, as you can see on screen, I'm going to go over all of these and then I'll break down the best ways to complete them, even though it's just kind of common sense. However, if you're lacking that, don't worry, I gotcha. So the first one, as you can see, catch a fish while wearing a costume. 10, eat candy while in a costume. 30, kill a human while wearing a costume. 30, kill a Spooky Scorched while wearing a costume. 25, that's a repeat challenge. Same thing with the humans. Scrap junk to produce fertilizer while wearing a costume. 25, and then the final repeating to complete a give out candy challenge. 5, complete a trick or treat challenge. 5. Now, so again, I'm not even going to go over the complete a give out candy challenge or complete a trick or treat challenge. Those are extremely simple. Again, just give out candy to one player for 5 days and then just collect candy from 3 players' camps for 5 days. Boom, both of those challenges are done. Those are the first things that you should do when you hop into any server or for the day and everything, and you're going through your dailies. Just make sure you bang those out first every single day so you don't forget. But catch a fish while wearing a costume. Pretty straightforward. Just go to any fishable body of water and fish there. If you don't have the axolotl yet, go ahead and hunt for the axolotl. You'll probably get it within those 10 fish if you're using improved bait and the correct weather station. Eat candy 30. This is a lot of candy, but it also does count like gumdrops and things that you can get from Mischief Night. So if you've been stacking sugar bombs or gumdrops from Mischief Night, you could just eat 30 of them also on the first day. But by week 2, if you've been hunting down the 25 Spooky Scorched, you should have well over 30 candy. So just do yourself a favor, and as soon as week 2 goes live, eat all of the candy. Kill a human in a costume. Again, you couldn't get more straightforward. Just like the cripple one, you're going to want to go to cultist and blood eagle locations until you hit that 30 mark. Do events that feature humans and everything like that, but I would mainly just go to those few locations. I would go to literally the 3 Blood Eagle locations down by Nuka World on tour, and then a couple of cultist locations, and then you should be able to get that 30. It is annoying, though, because some of the Blood Eagles and some of the cultists will spawn as ghouls now, ever since the ghoul update, but again, you shouldn't have to server hop. You should be able to kill 30 humans without any issue, just going to Blood Eagle and cultist spots on your maps. Spooky Scorched, again, this is most annoying. I will show the map for a second time on screen. Shout out to NukaKnight for the 10th time in this video for carrying the Fallout 76 community. But as you can see on screen, there are a bunch of different locations. Again, just go to the water park, run the water park a couple of times, and you're good to go. Or you could just go to every single Scourge location. If you run all of these Scourge locations in order, or if you just run them all on one server, you should be able to get at least 50 to 60 Spooky Scorched per run. You could even get 100 if you're really lucky, but on the low end, you'll be pulling in 50 to 60, so you could just run the entire thing once, and you'll be able to get all of your Spooky Scorched in one sitting. Scrap junk to produce fertilizer. Just scrap 25 junk. It's really that simple. Go to a tinker's workbench, and then go to the bulk goods, and then just make some bulk fertilizer. Scrap the bulk fertilizer. That's that challenge done. And then obviously those stupid 2 challenges, which I already talked about in the beginning. So yeah, that's really it. That's week 2. But there is still one challenge that you probably will have completed just throughout completing the other challenges that we have to get to. Finally, as you can see on screen, there is just one extra challenge that you have to complete, and you would have completed it by completing either week 1 or week 2. You just have to complete the give out candy and trick or treat completion challenges 4. So that's pretty much it. That's all you have to do. You just have to complete the week 1 and the week 2 challenges for the give out candy or the trick or treat completion. Just have those 4 done, and you will be good. But you will have to do that anyway if you're completing the entire season. So this is just kind of like an extra little season ticket boost, I guess, for you. It's not difficult at all. Just complete all of the give out candy and the trick or treat challenges. Literally do them as soon as you log in for the day, before you even get started on your dailies, and you will have this done in no time, I promise. It does suck though that you won't be able to get all of the rewards, or if you were saving up the tickets for the rewards, you wouldn't be able to get all of the rewards day one, because you will have to obviously complete this one, which is going to take almost the entire event. Like I said, for completing all of these challenges, you will get season tickets. You could either stash them for the main season as extra tickets, or you could spend them on the new season rewards. If you do choose the new rewards, you will walk away with some pretty solid camp decor for all of you Halloween fiends out there. I'll show them all on screen, and then I'll go over all of them as well. Big shout out to NukaKnight, but you could view all of these rewards either in the description below on NukaKnight's page, or you could view them in the mini season, but just NukaKnight kind of gives you a better look at them, so that's why I'm using those pictures. So up first, we have the Autopsy Table Bed, we have the Vault-Tec Body Bag, we have the Closed Morgue Drawer, we have the Morgue Drawer, we have the Mortuary Sign. We have now the final actual plan, or the final actual reward is, or the camp reward, excuse me, is going to be the open morgue drawer. And then the 7th reward and the final reward is just going to be 2 player titles, the Putrid and Cadaver. So you could get 7, well, technically 8 rewards in total if you count the player titles as 2 separate rewards for completing this. Again, you could grab them all on day one if you have the tickets saved up, but if not, you will have to complete the entire event. Personally, I think the open morgue drawer is actually pretty cool, and then same thing with the Vault-Tec Body Bag. But besides that, it's just something extra to do. It's just Bethesda's way of throwing you a little bone, throwing you some extra free content, an extra hour a week, and it's really just to get their player base up. Now, you may be asking yourself, is it worth doing? I would say, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and complete it. Even if you don't want any of these rewards, you could just save up the extra tickets for yourself, and then go ahead and spend them on some atoms. So you could spend the extra, 2 hours that Bethesda is giving you of free content, and then you could go ahead and then just spend the tickets on atoms, so you could get paid for completing the challenges. You might as well do these. Again, it will probably take you an hour a week, not even, to do these. The longest one is going to be the Spooky Scorched. That one may take you 30 minutes if your RNG luck is terrible, like me. But if not, you should be able to get it done in a couple of runs, or a couple locations, excuse me. If you're a big camp builder, obviously do this. If not, if you don't care about camp stuff, do yourself a favor. Just save up the tickets after completing all of these challenges, spend them on atoms, buy yourself something nice from the Atomic Shop. Well, ladies and gents, we've made it to the end of another Fallout 76 video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. We only have this event from October 21st till November 4th, so make sure you go out there both weeks and grind out these super easy challenges. It's Halloween, get into the spirit. Again, make sure you claim the Candy Bowl if you've never done a Halloween event before in Fallout 76. Make sure you hunt as many Spooky Scorched as you can. I'll have a video going over the new rewards soon, I promise. And then obviously make sure you get into the Halloween spirit, have some fun out there, and just participate in as many Halloween shenanigans as you can in the Wasteland. It's always a good time around this time of year, and Christmas in the Wasteland. Everyone just feels, good and active in the community. It's always nice. But if you have any questions, if I went over this a little too fast, if you need me to break something down, let me know in the comments. It's not too difficult. The skulls and the scalpels are going to be the hardest part, but the skulls, again, just go to that area right outside of Vault 76, and then the scalpels just go to the White Spring Refuge, and you will be able to get 4 scalpels in that one room, and then just force the server to reset, and then boom, just go there. But as always, I appreciate you motherfuckers for watching this motherfucking video, and I will see you out there in the Wasteland.